Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Scully,
Yes?
marry me.
I love you and I like you.
I love you and I like you.
I love that woman. I love her more than sharks love blood.
I love you.
You don't.
Hello, this is Nerd Nuptial episode 33.
That's right, episode 33. And before we get going, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for writing us, emailing us, everything that you do. Tweet us and give us 5-star ratings, any kind of rating. It just, you guys have done it in for us and you've talked to us about how much you've enjoyed the show. And it really means a lot to us when you guys reach out to us, and you don't have to. That's the thing.
Yeah, we love hearing from you, so keep it up.
Absolutely. Now, our topic today is nerd dating.
Yeah, we were called out by the show Words with Nerds.
Hosted by friends of the show and friends, John Mills and Craig Sorrell, where they asked us a few questions about nerd dating. And thankfully, when they were one of their topics was dating as nerds, because they're both nerds, and obviously. And they said, I wonder how Nerd Nuptial feels about this.
Yeah, which was really cool.
I thought that was pretty interesting and a lot of fun. So naturally, we have to respond.
Of course.
That's just the way it is. But before we get into that, something funny happened the other day, and I just want to talk about it on the show.
So we went to Barnes & Noble to bulk up our kid book collection because if you've been a listener of the show, you know that I'm expecting in February. And so we love kids' books, and we went on a mission to find some of our favorites.
Yes, there was one in particular I was looking for, and all I could find was the sequel to it. It was just the sequel, and I was like, no, I want the original. How is it possible that they don't have the original? As a completist, I'm like, no. And it's one of my favorite books, and so I'm at one of the spinny things, like the turnstile.
Yeah, turnstiles.
Something like that. And I'm on my knees because I'm checking the low ones, and I'm trying to spin it. And I'm going through it, and there's this kid who just keeps running through and just spinning it like crazy. And I was watching him do this, and I was like, oh, you little scamp. And then finally I got to one. I got to a turnstile or whatever it's called, and I'm down, and the kid runs up again, and I'm actively looking for the book, and they're that golden
Little golden books. Yeah.
Thank you, little golden books, and so you can't read them on the side. You have to pull them out to see them. And so the kid comes up, and he tries to spin it, but my hands are in the way. And he's super frustrated that he can't spin it because I'm blocking it for him, and I'm like, hey buddy, like I'm trying to find something, so I'm here, and he keeps trying to do it, even though I told him to stop. I was like, okay, stop, you can't do this. And this kid runs around, super frustrated, and I'm a complete stranger, complete and utter stranger, and he grabs my hands and goes, no, stop. And I go, really, buddy? We're doing this? Really? And I even said to him, I'm like, I'm a stranger.
You said that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm like awkward looking at a different area because I'm like wondering where the parents are.
Yeah, and so like this kid, he physically grabs my hands. He comes to me and grabs my hands and goes, stop. No, stop. Like,
you were interrupting his fun.
I want to do this.
Yeah.
And
you killed his fun.
And so I took my hands away, and then he just spun it and ran away. And I was so utterly upset. I was looking around, like I wasn't upset that he did that. I'm not a monster.
No, you were just upset that he would feel that comfortable, I guess.
Yes, that is exactly it.
You believe heavily in stranger danger.
I am very much a stranger danger individual. Like
Our poor kids.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, distrust anyone you don't know.
Yeah,
and this
you
kid
kind of instilled that into me as your wife too. So I was much more trusting before I married you.
Well, you're still alive, aren't you?
Mission accomplished.
Point Tristan, the girl living. Boom. And so this little kid, like, yeah, I think that's the thing, is that this, I was just so, I wanted to go find his parents and say, like, listen, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Whoever you
Yeah,
are.
because I would have taken that really well. That's a good way to gain friends.
It's just like I could have been Hannibal Lecter for all he knows, just hanging out in the kids section of Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, you've been noticing more like how people parent and stuff, and I haven't really gotten into that mode yet. I haven't really thought of our kid as a kid yet. I've just thought about it as like those first few days. I think that's all that my brain is processing is like, how am I going to get through the rest of pregnancy because it's been rough, and the first few days like when the baby's home. But honestly, past that, like thinking about discipline and like stuff like that, I have not thought like at all about. Whereas you, that's what all you're thinking about. I feel
am.
like
That's all I'm thinking
you're
about.
like 3 years ahead of me.
Yeah, I am. I really am.
Yeah,
like,
you are.
I'm 3 years.
Because let's be honest, like you can't really discipline them until they actually understand what they're doing is wrong.
Well, yeah.
And so you're like that distance away from. I haven't not thought about it at all.
And when we say discipline, we're talking about like giving a talking to.
Yeah,
like
of course.
saying like, no, this is wrong, or no, you
Right.
need to learn this. And yeah, I guess I am, because I guess I am about 3 years ahead, because like I'm watching. I am watching everyone. Like when I'm in a restaurant or I'm at a store and I see a parent, and I see their kid acting up, I don't judge them. I just go, okay, what are you doing? How you dealing with this? And it's like I'm writing notes.
That's so funny.
Like how to deal with an unruly child. And
I'm like in La La Land, just like looking at cute baby clothes.
That is very much what you're doing.
That's all that I'm thinking about right now. So yeah, not much going on for me thinking about that, but I think it's good that one of us is paying attention to that stuff. So good job.
Well, one thing that I've also noticed is that I've always been protective of you. Mm-hmm. And I knew that this was going to be crazy once you got pregnant. I knew that I was going to go overly so. Like, I don't even like the fact that you drive yourself.
I know, and I'm like, okay.
Like,
I have to get to work. I have to.
Like, I understand that. It's not an independence thing. It's just
I know it's not. You just are really protective right now.
And just yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that, you come into the house. Oh, we were at your parents' house, and you come into your parents' house. I was there before you. And you come in, and you're just like, oh, this random guy just came up to my car right when I parked.
Yeah, I was in the driveway.
What?
Yeah, I was in the driveway, like pulled into the driveway, and then this guy comes up to my car window and is starting to like talk to me about something. Like he had his business card, and I was like, "Yeah, no, do not talk to me when I'm in my car." And at my parents' house, for all they knew, it was my house. Mm-hmm. And then I came in, kind of a little shook, just the fact that I had to have that interaction, and immediately you just got into this like, well, Tristan mode basically, where you're just like stormed out the door looking for the guy, trying to hunt him down. I'm like, please don't make a scene. This is going to be worse than just letting him go. But yeah, you were really protective. And I was like, oh dear, I shouldn't have said anything.
No, you shouldn't have. I was ready to pounce. I was ready to just bounce him off of the pavement. And I had no idea why. Like,
just this instinct.
Yeah,
kicked in.
it's just what he did was wrong, and you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't accost a young female alone in her car. I don't care if it's in her own driveway.
Yeah, you
don't come up to somebody's car like that and try to sell them something or do anything.
Right.
You just don't do that.
Yeah.
And so I just something just snapped inside of me, and I didn't even have my shoes on, and I ran outside.
I know.
This guy was lucky that he was out of sight.
Little different mode we're in right now.
It is, and it just got me thinking about how far we've come from when we met, and then when we started dating, and when we got married, and where we are now. And I just think it's interesting that Words with Nerds started asking these questions about, dating and nerd dating, and we popped into their heads, and it was very flattering. And like I said, I've always been protective of you, but the main questions that they on Words with Nerds, and everyone should check out that podcast. It's a great podcast. It's really funny. They have great topics, and the hosts have great chemistry. Words with Nerds. You can find them at wordswithnerds.podbean.com. And you should subscribe immediately. with this show, like what they were talking, somehow they just started talking about dating, and both of them dated normies, quote unquote.
Yeah, I think that's what they called them.
Yeah, and that's what we call them too.
Non-nerds.
Non-nerds. And so they started asking the question about, is it a good thing to not hide your nerd self?
In a dating scenario.
In a dating scenario, because they kept giving examples of how they ruined a date or ruined the opportunity of a date because they geeked out too early in the relationship or too early in the night. And then John posed the question, well, like Geek Chic was not a thing back then.
True.
They're just a little bit older than us, just a little bit.
But even when I would say that this is a newer thing.
Yeah, even when we were younger.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, like
high school and college. I don't think that was really a thing.
No,
per se.
No, I think it definitely and they kept saying, with the introduction of Big Bang Theory, like now it's kind of cool to be a geek, and now it's in the mainstream to be nerdy, and so it's much more acceptable. But back in the day, if you were wearing a geek shirt, that was the label of undateable, as they said.
Okay.
And so John kind of posed the question: well, is that a good thing? Because you learn to hide your geek self in order to interact with quote unquote normal people. And so is that good for your day-to-day lives where you don't geek out at every single event? And also he posed the question, does that, because it's now normal to be a nerd, and is it better for two nerds to marry each other, or is it better for opposites to attract where you get more diversity in the relationship?
Yeah, which I thought was an interesting idea.
I thought it was an interesting way to put it.
Well, especially if you marry a normie, I guess you've got to justify it somehow.
That's right. Ooh, the girl just called out John. I guess, yeah. If you can't hit the brass ring,
you can't handle it. I mean,
if you can't handle the nerd awesomeness,
that's right. Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me, did you always? You dated more normies than nerds, probably in high school and stuff like that.
Oh God, yeah.
You're
yeah,
right?
I did. I had some weirdos.
You had some weirdos. Okay.
Yeah, I did. Actually, going back, I didn't seek them out.
Okay.
I do think that they found me though.
Okay.
I think I sought out the non-nerds, but the nerds found me.
Gotcha.
But the thing is with me, and I have no idea if this is true, but it's something that I always said about myself.
So it's probably kind of arrogant, right?
Well, yeah, you know what's coming. I always consider myself a nerd with social skills.
Right.
I
would agree with that.
Thank you.
I think that you could hide if you wanted to.
Yes.
You just never wanted to. But that was kind of attractive because you knew yourself. And so I think that's how it worked in your favor, is that you were confident. You were always confident. There was never a question about you not being confident.
It's sad but true.
Did you ever go through a self-conscious phase? See, the fact that you have to think about it.
I was so arrogant. So that's the thing, is that okay, so here's the thing, is that my mom grew up with not a lot of self-esteem. And she went through a horrible relationship that really just decimated her self-esteem. Now she does, because thanks to her own what's the term I'm looking for? Her own sense of pulling herself up by her bootstraps. Mm-hmm. And also my father, reinforcing that self-esteem. And so she realized that it was such a disadvantage for her to have no self-esteem, that it was very important to her that her kids have self-esteem. And being raised that way, sometimes I kind of skewed arrogant.
Or came across that way.
Right. That was one thing, is that whenever I found out that people thought I was arrogant, mm-hmm. especially people whose opinion I valued, I got kind of down. Where I was like, oh man, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and you have kind of a polarizing personality where people either love you, like I do, mm-hmm. Or they are just kind of put off by either your arrogance.
Which doesn't help the listener count. To have a polarizing personality.
I've always just kind of I've never really had extreme enemies, or, I've always just kind of been that person that everyone kind of liked. I mean, that's kind of arrogant to say, but I've never really been a polarizing person.
Well, no, you have a very easygoing personality. Like
I'm not an easygoing person.
No, you're not an easygoing person.
I'm
You're
not.
You have an
I'm very high
easygoing
maintenance
personality where
Yes.
you always focus on making everyone as comfortable as possible in the room.
Yeah, I feel the room, whereas you do not.
That is untrue. That is completely untrue.
It depends on the room, babe.
What does that even mean?
You're gonna do what you're gonna do.
That doesn't mean I don't recognize that it's the bad time.
That's true. And maybe later on you'll regret it, but probably not.
See, that's the thing. I can always read the room, but just that doesn't always affect whether or not I'm going to pull the trigger.
That is true. Whereas that always affects me.
Yeah.
I'm always going to gauge what's going on in the room.
See, okay, so with that in mind,
yeah, going back to your
going
dating.
back to the topic of dating and everything like that. Well, that's the thing is that like I feel
but
like
it goes to who you are too.
well, yeah, it's just like confidence is a big thing with dating.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's that stereotype of lack of confidence with nerds.
That's true.
You know, think about the nerd stereotype in your head right now. Are they confident?
No,
Are they good looking?
probably not.
I was both of those things. That's
Well, there you go.
That's the thing though, is that like I thought I was good looking. And I got
I
dates
think
all
you
the
are
time.
too. I'm just, of course, I think you're good looking.
Oh no, I know I'm good
You're-
looking
okay,
now.
okay,
I
good,
know, no,
okay.
I know I'm good looking now.
But the fact that you knew it helped you in your confidence.
But back then I wasn't. I thought I was. That's the thing. Is that
you saw your own potential.
I look back on like I went through my yearbook one time or some of my old school pictures and I'm like, "Oh my god. Good lord, people. Why didn't you tell me I was ugly?" Like I had this weird mustache that was like half grown in. The Julius Caesar haircut.
Awesome.
You know, and like I was wearing flannel for some reason. I don't even remember owning flannel.
That's hilarious.
And yeah, I don't remember thinking that I looked that poor, but yet I had confidence. And so I was able to get a lot of dates because I had confidence.
Well, let's be honest though. Everyone goes through that awkward phase,
Yeah.
which is probably what you're referring to.
Right.
And I teach high school, so there are so many times when I look at these pretty girls and I'm like, why are you with this guy? Like Dorito breath and all. Like, why are you here?
Mountain Dew in
exactly.
hand.
I'm like, wow.
Frito
Like,
dusting.
Sweetie, wait a few years. You'll go to college. Things will be better. But no, they date the Dorito breath.
And that's okay because I was the Dorito breath
That's
guy.
right. There you
And
go.
I turned out okay. So
That's
those
right.
girls are going to be doing fine.
That's right.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. I think confidence is key there. And so did you ever have a confidence issue in middle school and high school?
I think middle school, I definitely did.
Yeah.
Because it's middle school.
I know it's hard not to in middle school.
Right? Because
Yeah.
your body's weird and you're not quite grown into your body, but you're going through puberty and it's just weird. And anyone who had an easy middle school experience, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Are lying or didn't live in this
Yeah,
country.
exactly.
Yeah.
But once I went to high school, I was confident. I was pretty confident. But I definitely had a type. I always dated a nerd.
You did?
I did.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, always. Are you kidding
Always
me?
a nerd.
Absolutely.
Okay, well let's get into that because this is the topic that we're talking about. So your type was nerd.
Yeah.
I
mean,
you know-
but not necessarily. I mean, maybe some of them were a little bit more stereotypical than, like what you might have in your head, but still with social skills and somewhat attractive. But yeah, like, I mean, some of my dates were like going to comic book stores before you. I know, seriously.
I'm a little jealous.
No, seriously, like, yeah.
So is that all that you would qualify them as nerds? Is just because they read comic books or like what else?
Film buffs.
Okay.
We would make our own T-shirts that would, I would make my boyfriend's T-shirts that like had key phrases from like movies and stuff on them.
Oh, I'm totally calling the MPAA and I'm gonna call the FBI. You get copyright infringement back
There
in the
you
day.
go. Yeah. Well, it was kind of like before. I mean, I'm sure there were nerd shirts, but like we like made our nerd shirts.
They were nowhere near as popular as they are today.
Right. Right.
Like they were out there, you could find them, but it
Yeah.
took some hunting.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, but I always had a type. I always had like the
What did you write? I want to know what you wrote on the T-shirts.
like stupid things.
Like what? Like
I
what?
can't remember. Like we were really
Like put the lotion in the basket? Like what?
no, that would have been really cool, way cooler. I think like one guy I dated was like really into he liked the phrase like kimosabi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Like just this phrase monkeys with an exclamation point. You know, just like
from
random
the band?
things. Just like random things. But like that's not a normal shirt.
No, that's not normal. That's
you know,
right.
it was a conversation starter. So wouldn't you qualify that if they're like into all these things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't just have to be comic books or
No.
movies. They're just like
No, it's being a little offbeat.
yeah. I get that. And nerds are, and they should be a little offbeat. Yeah. So what drew you to nerds as opposed to normies?
I was a nerd.
Is that why it was you seeking out your own kind?
Yeah, but you see, I think that I was only really a nerd in my relationships in high school.
Explain
like,
that to me.
I would, you know, hang out with my friends and everything like that, but the people I dated, I could actually share my nerdy self with because I had found nerds.
Okay.
So like my friends, like all my girlfriends and stuff, I never talked about nerdy things with them. You know?
Sailor Moon or anything like that.
No, I didn't talk about any of that stuff. I totally hit a Sailor Moon patch on my Trapper Keeper in middle school. I thought that was so cool.
You even have a favorite?
I do, Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Yeah. Sailor Moon was too like whiny and cry. Yeah. But I was more my nerd self with, or I felt like I could share that because I was dating nerds. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know this.
No?
I knew you dated a lot of creeps. But I had no idea that they were nerdy creeps.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Or they turned, like, they weren't always creeps, but they turned creeps.
Okay, because the stories that you've told me and the way that you've told it is that you almost exclusively dated like stalkers and creeps.
Well, eventually they ended up that way, which is unfortunate.
So
I never had a good breakup.
Do you associate that with a nerddom?
No, because
No?
obviously I married you.
Well.
And I kept dating nerds, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it's good that you didn't turn against your own kind.
I didn't. I understood it was exclusive to the creeps.
Okay, so in high school, obviously, you were a big theater nerd.
Yes.
And so did you date other theater nerds? Or did you?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Which I totally tell my students not to.
Well, you can teach them from experience.
Well, and it's such a false sense of reality when you're in a play with someone because you're with them like all the time. And, you know, it could have been like the person that you're like dating in the show.
Right.
And
yes, I've seen that.
Well, it's kind of like movie stars do that too, where like they fall in love or whatever.
Brangelina.
and
I'll never say that again on this
gonna
podcast.
say, that was weird.
Yeah. I felt dirty.
Yeah, but it's like this false sense of like, do you actually like this person, or is it just because you're spending a lot of time with them?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you ever date normal guys?
I dated one or two normal guys.
One or two, so not a lot. Well, one or two. So
but I didn't date as much as you did. I was much more long-term type relationship person.
I never had a serious relationship in high school, but I dated a lot. Mm-hmm.
No, I did.
You had serious relationships.
Yeah, I did.
So what was the difference between the two?
My normal relationships didn't really last very long.
Well,
the normies.
There you go.
Yeah, because there wasn't as much, to talk about. To be completely honest,
not much. Okay. I'm glad that you brought that up because I obviously we were just joking about John marrying a normie, marrying Agent Bunn. We know they're blissfully happy. So don't fly over here and threaten to kick my butt, John. But
well, I was the one who said it.
But that's really interesting because that's something that I always talk about is that in our relationship, yours and mine, having stuff to talk about, watching stuff together, reading stuff together, listening stuff together, sharing and pop culture is very important to us.
Yeah, it's very important to our relationship. I mean,
it's a cornerstone of our relationship.
It is.
Of what we enjoy together. And you've heard me say on this podcast several times that I have friends who aren't necessarily nerds, but they married individuals who have zero of the same tastes as they do.
I don't even know how that happens.
I don't either. I don't understand.
But I've seen it work, and people love each other, and like I don't discount that.
Yeah.
It's just that for us, because it's so much of what we like to do together, I don't know how that works.
I can't even wrap my head around it.
And I mean, like I said, for my past relationships, I always dated people who were interested in the same things I was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of those things where it, like I said, it never worked out very long with someone who's like into sports or into, I don't know, sports is the main thing because I'm so thankful you're not into sports. But, you know, non-nerdy things.
Yeah.
Like they're, you know, like, oh, I don't really watch very many movies. I'm like, okay, that's going to probably last not very long.
Turning off the I am now. AFK. Yeah, I think that's the thing is that like with these friends that I'm thinking about, they don't mind. You know, like obviously they have a very happy relationship. They have a happy marriage or whatever.
And not to say that like our relationship is better because of it. It's
that's
just
not
different.
what we're saying at all. It's
right.
just very different. But the thing is, though, is that whenever they watch something together, one person is always upset.
Right. Or disappointed or just kind of biding their time.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, we're going to watch something that you like tonight, and tomorrow night we're going to watch something that I like. You and I have never had that happen. No.
I mean, basically all the movies I like are movies that you like, and it's just the only thing that we argue about is like the repetition because I like the same things.
You like to watch and rewatch constantly.
Right.
I like to add in some variety.
Exactly.
And so I guess like I'm trying to find a way to answer John's question about diversity, you know, in a relationship. When I think diversity in a relationship, I think one party being disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, because I don't know, like I can't imagine some of our conversations if I wasn't into what you were talking about. You know, like you come home with some news about the new Batman movie and I'm not into it. Mm-hmm. That would be a very different conversation. I feel like you'd feel bad.
Yeah, it was
right.
It was funny because like just the other day, like Zack Snyder, or I think it was Zack Snyder, released a photo of Ben Affleck's new Batsuit, like his tactical Batsuit. And right when I came home, I like popped up my phone and I said, I was like, what does this remind you of? Yeah. And you said, oh, it looks like Night Owl from Watchmen. And I immediately started making out with you. Because I realized what we have is precious.
Yeah, but you were excited to like come home and tell me that information. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I wasn't into it,
I wouldn't have brought it up.
Then you wouldn't have brought it up and we wouldn't have had that conversation.
Right.
Now, I mean, some people would be like, well, that's not a big conversation you have to have, but it was important to us. But that's daily. You know, that's daily.
That is daily.
For us. It's like we sit down, we have dinner, we talk about our days, and usually we talk about something nerdy. Yeah. Or we talk about a movie and like why it's awesome.
Yeah, and when we're done with dinner, we leave the table, we go to bed, and before we watch anything, what do?
Oh, we have to figure out what we're going to watch.
Well, no, I mean like even before then, like what do we do on the Apple TV every single time?
Oh, we go to the trailer section.
Yeah, we see whatever new trailers come out.
Always.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you've seen one before, you're like, oh, we have to watch this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we do. It's our nightly routine.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's awesome. It's just something that I thoroughly enjoy, and because it's become such a huge part of our relationship, an enjoyable part of our relationship, it's hard for me to imagine without it. Because when I dated girls before you,
say it ain't so.
Yeah, I know. I didn't always live here in the mountains. And you know exactly what movie I'm quoting. See, that's the thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, when I dated other girls before you, some of them were nerds, some of them weren't. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that how I got it to work all the time, and this is where I kind of try to say where I am the nerd with social skills, is that I always knew when to talk about nerdy things. And like that's what John and Craig were talking about a lot, is where like their
timing was not good.
Their timing was horrible, where they'd bring a girl back to their place and they start talking her up and she's totally down, and then like
down for
a game of chess is what they said.
Oh, do they call it a game of chess?
They called it a game of chess. I actually
in school I call it a pillow fight.
You call What?
I call it a pillow fight.
Wait, today is in school? Like
yeah,
when you're...
like when I teach like books that have a chess game, I call it a pillow fight with my students.
And do they laugh at this?
Yes.
And they know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course they do.
When I was listening to Words with Nerds and they kept calling it a game of chess, I kept trying to think of how I would describe my encounters in a game of chess. And I was just like, okay. So I was moving my pawns forward all night, getting nowhere. I was nowhere close to defending my king, you know what I'm saying? And so I was just about to slide my bishop, and...
That sounds really dirty.
I'm just talking about chess, baby. I could put it in pillow fight terms if you want. What was I talking about?
Chess.
Now all of it. I'm thinking about the Thomas Crown Affair, like the sexy chess scene that was in that movie. But yeah, no, okay. So girls that dated, timing, knew about timing and everything like that, and so. I would never blow it on the first date or on the second or third date or anything like that because I would know when I would let them enter my geeky realm. But if I slipped every once in a while, one thing this always worked was
I'm kind of scared.
I would
Did
just
you use on me?
I would show them, huh?
Did you use this tactic on me?
I use a lot of tactics on you. That's why you're sitting here. No, I would always show them passion. Passion. Not unbridled passion. Not obsession. Not, man in his basement under a bare-lit bulb or anything like that. I would show them extreme passion and knowledge. So if it came out, like where I was a Star Trek fan, or something like that, and they're like, "You watch Star Trek?" Instead of going, "Well, occasionally, or something like that," I go, "Absolutely, I love Star Trek."
You owned
dearly.
it.
Yeah, I owned it, but
yeah.
then I took it to another level. I said it was like the beauty of Star Trek is that it shows us a world.
I can hear 19-year-old Tristan right now.
Yeah, you can, can't you? Where it showed us a world, girl. Where humans have evolved beyond our petty differences today. Capitalism is a thing of the past. And, just gaining material goods was no longer the driving force of our lives. Can you imagine, girl, a world like that? Yes, no, I'll have another cappuccino. Yes, can you imagine growing as a species, evolving? Yeah, that's what I would do.
You would own it. Yeah.
And it turned them on flat.
Well, okay, yeah.
And so to any nerds listening,
there you go.
Any young nerds listening, looking for advice, that is the advice I give you. Do not retract. Do not go quietly into that dark side. Rage against the dying of the light.
The moment I knew that you were a nerd was when you would send me via IM movie quotes, but they would be sexy new movie quotes.
I have no recollection of this.
Yeah, they would be very...
I don't think I did that with everybody.
Sexy, but definitely passionate, as you would say.
So nothing from Eyes Wide Shut or anything like that.
No, I think I'd probably be running a little bit
probably.
in the other direction. Yeah, no.
Fidelio. Never mind that.
No.
So can you remember any
I'm pretty sure there was a Meet Joe Black one in there and a Bicentennial Man one.
Oh my God, Bicentennial Man? Because when you think sex, you think Bicentennial Man. You think Robin Williams in a metal suit. Revs my engine.
It may...
Jeez.
I just blew your cover as being smooth.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was smooth. Apparently not that smooth.
So retract that for the young nerds.
Oh God. What on earth could I say? Oh wait, I remember. No, he had a very nice speech about love.
Well, there you go. But I was right. It was from Bicentennial Man, right?
No,
okay.
at the end of the...
Okay.
No, he talks about... He talks about sex. In a very nice way.
Yes.
He talks about making love, about how you when you're with the person that you love and you're being intimate with them, that you can die and go to heaven and come back anytime you want. And
that's true.
And I thought that was so beautiful. So yeah, okay, yeah. I'm defending 19-year-old Tristan.
All right, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you know that I was a nerd?
Well, it was I've said it on the show before. It's when I saw a picture of you dressed up as Princess Leia.
Oh, it was at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that's when you outed yourself, because like I can't remember how we found that picture,
Yeah.
but it was pretty early on, wasn't it? I think, or
Yeah,
actually, you know what?
I don't know.
No, that was the moment that I knew I was going to marry you.
Yeah, because I was trying to think like when we were dating.
When you were dating, is that you had a DVD folder in the same and organized in the same way that I had my DVD folder organized,
That's true.
and it was by enjoyment.
That's true. I
Like
did.
you had your favorites in the front, and they filtered to the back.
That's true.
And mine was organized the exact same way.
Yeah, and we did have some similar
We had a lot of the same DVDs.
DVDs. Mm-hmm. There's quite a few.
And that's when I realized I was like, wow, like these are good movies. You don't normally see that in college.
No,
male or female.
Right. Usually you'd see. I mean, I had some of these, but like the girly.
Yeah, you had romantic
and
comedies,
I did.
and so did I.
Yeah, of course.
You had 10 like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I had 2 weeks notice and
right,
stuff like that.
that.
But you also had the game.
Right.
On DVD, like in
what girl has the game
Yeah.
in their folder?
That's the thing. None that I had met. I'm sure there's tons out there, but none that I ever met before.
Yeah, that I had to bring to college.
Yeah,
of that
you're like,
collection.
no, I got to have Fincher at college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, did you also have Fight Club? I don't think you did.
I can't remember.
But no, it was just tons of it was good cinema. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just distraction.
I was really selective with what I bought, so
that was when I first realized you were a nerd, and when I started talking about these movies, and you started like rattling off dates with me, like like this was my favorite movie of 2001. I was like, oh man, sexy brain and sexy butt.
You're so bad. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was the moment.
Yeah, I think that was the moment when I realized you were a nerd.
Okay.
I'm remembering this now. I would leave you quotes on your dry erase board.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Like when I'd go to your room and realize you weren't there, I'd leave a note, like whether it's from a song or from a movie or something like that.
Which was practically illegible because I couldn't read your writing. I still can read.
I think you mean stylized. When you say illegible, I think you mean stylized.
Sure.
My handwriting is once described as wheat in the wind.
It does look like that.
So
it does.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
So when did we already talk about this? But when did you first realize that I was a nerd?
Well, I think that it was talking movies with you because you were a film major, and we would talk about movies and like our favorite movies and stuff like that. And also, you made a movie for the school where you were in the Matrix.
Oh, God,
like a Matrix parody.
I did a Matrix parody. Yeah.
And it was shown on cross campus, and so you had to be somewhat of a nerd.
Yeah,
to do that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun actually. Yeah, and that was before we started dating.
Yeah.
It was the fall of my junior year, and that's right before we started dating. Right before.
Yeah.
And we had this thing called Ollie's Follies because we went to Olivet Nazarene University, and so they had a festival every single fall to kind of kick off the new school year, and there was competitions of the classes, like freshmen against sophomores and sophomores against juniors, juniors against seniors, and so there'd be like sports competitions and games competitions and music competitions, dance competitions, and then there was one film, and I was chosen to make the film for the class of 2008, and every year has a theme, and that year's theme was movies. And I was like, well,
there you
go. And so like we had to spoof movies, and I think each class had a movie that they were supposed to spoof, and I was supposed to spoof The Matrix. I completely won out. I have no idea how that happened, how I got The Matrix, but and so I spent a lot of time. I shot most of it over the summer because I knew it was happening, and I edited it together and got some shots on campus when we got back, and I played it. They played it on the big screen, and there's literally thousands of people there. And as soon as it was over, the music hit and my name pops up, a Tristan Riddell film, and the entire freshmen all the way to seniors erupted in cheers.
Pretty
and
cool moment.
screaming. Thousands of people were screaming at the sight of my name. And I was like, oh,
Felt
I want to
good.
keep doing this. I was like, wait, can I get paid to be a nerd? I think I can. And I've been doing video production ever since.
Exactly.
And so that's when you knew I was a nerd. When you saw that.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that film.
Yeah, it was too accurate.
It was quite accurate of a nerd spoof.
Yeah, I think that's probably the moment.
So we have such a good relationship. It's hard to argue against quote unquote diversity in a relationship.
Well, I guess I just don't know how that looks because we're so set in our ways and we are who we are. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's how, Words with Nerds felt too, is because they both married people who are normies, so they're not used to that. But I feel like maybe part of it too is that for you and I, we don't necessarily, you have your nerd community online, but I completely am fine just talking to you about nerd things. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about like the interaction we have about the show, and I love that, and that's cool to hear about. But I don't feel the need to go outside of our little circle because I'm fulfilled talking about that type of stuff, just you and I.
Yeah, and that's like for the longest time, what drew me to the online community was Star Trek.
Yeah, because I don't like that.
Because you don't like Star Trek. That's like one of the few franchises. And that's what I'm trying to say is that if you were gung-ho about Star Trek, I might never have gone online.
It's true. And we probably would never have had the show.
It's very possible because like what happened is that I lived downtown. Before we got engaged, I lived in Chinatown and had a job and everything like that. And then I got a nicer job with benefits and a nicer pay. And so I got my own place because I was living with 5 guys. And so I got my own place, moved away and everything like that. And so I realized, when you're not living with 5 guys and you're not with your lady love, things get kind of lonely. Mm-hmm. And so I thought I was like, well, maybe I'll go on this Twitter that everybody's talking about. And then I found out there was a lot of Star Trek fans on Twitter. And so I'm not saying that's all that I did, but it was a lot of fun.
Sure.
Like when I got bored or, like I was alone,
right.
I could reach out and talk to people and geek out about Star Trek. And the only reason why I did that, it was because you weren't there. And even if you were there, you wouldn't want to talk about Star Trek.
Right.
And then that got me my first podcasting gig. And then I was a big part of the Trek FM network. And now we have our own network, and that you guys might berate the girl for not liking Star Trek, but it's the only reason why the show exists.
That's true.
If you look at it
you
that
really
way,
should thank me.
Maybe they will.
Maybe they will.
Well, is there anything else that you want to ask me about dating nerds when I was younger, or how I look at it now?
I don't know. Just I guess tell me the difference. Like what did you find was the difference? Because I kind of told you.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm trying to think about the difference because it's like this is obviously the best relationship I've ever had.
Oh, thanks. Glad to hear it.
Clearly. And so when you look back on your old relationships, there's good times.
Mm-hmm.
Even though what you and I have is so utterly amazing and I can't imagine anything better, when you look back on other relationships, you realize, that was nice. Like when you're thinking about that whatever, that time at the lake. I never went to the lake. You're just like, that was nice. That was a good time. And we didn't have to be talking about nerd thing. It's not like we were laying on a blanket having a picnic, looking at the stars going, what's great? Stargate. That never, that didn't really happen.
Right.
So I had a lot of great non-nerd times with a lot of non-nerd people, but I think the second longest relationship I had was someone who was kind of nerdy. Who kind of owned it, was goofy and silly and everything like that. And so I think that definitely showed that maybe that's where the direction that I needed to go. Where I think one question that John and Craig were asking were, you know, like, I think John asked Craig this question, is like, did you sought out nerds or did you sought out normies and everything like that? I never sought out nerds.
Okay.
But I never declined them either.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
Like, I didn't go like, okay, my next girlfriend, she's going to be a nerd. I'm going to find her.
I didn't do
like
that either.
Yeah. I don't think
It kind of just happens.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that like you gravitate towards people that you find.
Type or,
you gravitate towards a type, or you find people who share common interests or who you're attracted to. And sometimes interests can attract you.
Absolutely.
It's not just about looks.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I noticed is that, like, as we've established, that I didn't have that many long-term relationships, but I dated a lot. Whenever I did have a long-term relationship or a longer one, they were usually nerds.
Okay.
They were usually nerdy or weird.
Gotcha.
Like, the weird girls I usually stayed with longer than the non-weirdos.
Okay.
Like, I dated a few cheerleaders and or like, you know, class presidents or everything like that, and they just didn't last long. You know, and looking back on it, you're like, wow, that wasn't a good relationship. You're like, she was pretty, but that was not a good relationship. And I look back on girls that were a little off, you know, like maybe something wrong with them, but, you know, they were a lot of fun to be with because they were crazy, you know, like in a good way.
Sure.
And just like I was crazy because of, you know, all the crap that I was into. And so I think that's where I'm kind of drawing the line, where I didn't seek out nerds, but I didn't reject them.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, I think I had a type, but it's not like I went out seeking a certain person or like I'm gonna, you know. But at the same time, when I look back, there's probably only like 2 that weren't nerds.
Now, do you think your life would be any different if you were a teenager today, where geek chic is a thing?
I wonder. I think I probably would have owned it a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
You did mention a long time ago that you weren't really explicit, especially in middle school, with your likes and dislikes. You were in the closet nerd for a bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to be completely honest, I think in high school too, but like I said, I was able to, you know, let that nerd flag fly with my relationships because they were nerdier in that circle, you know, of friends. But yeah, I feel like if it had been more popular like it is today, where like, I don't know, I feel like when we were in high school, it wasn't really popular to be different. Whereas now it's like popular to be different, like I don't know, maybe people would disagree with me, but from what I see in high school, especially with the circle of kids that I teach, with the, you know, the nerdy theater kids, they're not nerdy, but like, you know, you have theater kids. They're definitely able to embrace whatever they're into. Yeah. Whether that's nerdy or not. So
I think, yeah, it's funny because when you're in high school, all you want to do is desperately fit in. That's all you want to do is just fit in, be the same. Yeah. And then you find out later in life that it really is good to be different, because if you're different, you stand out.
Especially in college.
Especially in college, because you'll get noticed by girls or guys, or you get noticed by the teachers, or you get noticed by job recruiters or anything like that. You want to be different and stand out in a good way, but that's not cool in high school.
Right.
But I hang out a lot with your students. I help out a lot with your plays and everything like that. And I see, like, granted, it's a small sample because it's theater kids.
It's a little different.
But from what I see in the halls, people love being different. Yeah. And people embrace being different. It's okay to be gay. It's okay to love theater. It's okay to be a Star Trek nerd. It's okay to be all about sports. It's okay to be about cheerleading. And I'm not saying you don't get your ass kicked for being weird, or I'm not saying that it's like high school is a paradise. I'm not saying that at all, but it is very different from when we were kids.
It is. Like, I have tons of students who come in almost every day in like Star Wars t-shirts. Like, I have a girl who comes in almost every day in a Star Wars t-shirt. And I'm like, I comment on it, I'm like, that's awesome. I would have never done that in high school. Right. Never. I had to have like the same jacket everyone had, and I had to wear the same pants that everyone had.
Same brand of pants.
The same brand. It couldn't be like an off brand. It had to be like, what was it? What was in style? Oh, like
Guess.
Or no, it was Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh yes,
yeah. That was really in when we were in high school, and this now I don't notice that as much. I see more of like, okay, they can kind of embrace whatever And it makes them unique. Like that girl in my class, she's unique because she wears that and people know that she likes Star Wars. And she has Star Wars shoes that match. Like, and
That's awesome.
I know, right?
I would go after a girl like that if I was in high school.
Oh, right?
That's the
right.
thing. Like,
I know.
If I, like, that's the thing. Is like, if
I'd be friends with her.
Right. If I saw a girl with a Star Wars t-shirt on, I would just be like, oh, okay, obviously you want my number.
That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But it's true. It's almost like a signal. You know, you're putting that signal out there. I mean, even for me as a teacher, I'm like, hey, I'm going to talk to her about Star Wars right now after class.
Right.
Whereas I would never have done that if she wasn't wearing a Star Wars, t-shirt.
Yeah. How would
I
you
wouldn't
know?
like go up to my class and like, hey, who's into Star Wars? I mean, I might.
I'm
but
in desperate need to talk to someone about C-3PO. So I guess to answer John's question, from our perspective, we think it's not a bad thing that you
No.
can now let your freak flag fly.
That's right.
Where you can be a nerd in public and be awkward and not necessarily have to go for normies and everything like that, because what we've seen, at least in today's high schools, is more positivity than when we were younger. Now, it's
Yeah.
still not perfect, obviously,
No.
but diversity is key and diversity is good. But I guess maybe that answers both things, is where John says that diversity in relationships is good, but, where that might curb being able to be openly free with your nerdiness. I mean, when you're in high school, you now have more diversity
Right.
because you're free to be who you are. And maybe then that allows you to find other people for truly who they are.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's perfect, like you said.
Right.
But I definitely think that being nerdy is not the stigma that it used to be.
Right.
And I think that definitely helps, for sure.
I say less stigma, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we were going to review The Night Of, HBO's The Night
There's
Of.
not much to talk about.
But that's it. I think that's our review. It
Yeah.
stinks.
Yeah. I didn't think it was terrible. I just thought it was a little boring, and I thought they were padding it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, is that like there was only 8 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and we skipped 2 in the middle because you took a nap.
Well, there you go. If I take a nap during...
Well, no, you took a nap like after we finished the second episode, I think.
Okay.
And I looked up, like HBO's been having a lot of rape in their TV shows lately.
Yeah, I can't handle that.
And I'm
No,
like,
thank you.
I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And so what I did was I searched The Night Of and rape, and it came up. And it said it in 2 different episodes, and I started reading the recap of those episodes, and I was like, oh, that sounds really boring and really offensive. And I'm not here to watch a prison drama. I want to watch a crime drama, like a courtroom drama. Mm-hmm. So we skipped 2 episodes of the 8 episodes, and it still felt like they were padding and lengthening time.
Yeah, we didn't really miss much.
No, not at all.
Nothing was really spoiled by missing those episodes.
No, not at all. And so like
So I guess we watched 5 of the... No,
I think
5 of them?
4 or 5.
5 of them, yeah.
And it's not worth it, guys. I mean, from our opinion, from the girl and Tristan's opinion, it's just spend those hours watching something else.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is that like, is it horrible? No, but it's not good either. And like, it felt like a waste of time.
A little bit.
Like a little bit. Like, I always love that you're willing to try new things and try a new show. But this is one of those times when it didn't pay off.
Sometimes we get burned.
Yeah. Sometimes you get burned. That's the game you play. Just like in high school. It's just like the lotto. You can't win if you don't play.
That's right.
All right.
Right.
Well, that's it. That's our show, folks. So please write us at contact@thenerdparty.com. We would love to know how you lived your nerdy life. Were you always open? Or were you always living out of the nerd closet, as it were? Like, were you free with your own diversity, or did you keep it hidden because you wanted that normie girlfriend or boyfriend? Just please let us know at contact@thenerdparty.com, or you can find me on Twitter @theinsanerobin. A couple of things that you should do, because we love you and we think you're great listeners, is that you should go to lootcrate.com/nerdparty and enter in the code nerdparty. From there, you can get a great Geekbox service where for under $20, you get over $40 worth of merchandise. And if you go to lootcrate.com/nerdparty, enter in the code nerdparty, you will save even more money off of that. So go there and find out more. It is absolutely worth it. And if you go to facebook.com/thenerdparty, give us a like. And also you can find our unboxing video if you click on media, and it'll show you the type of stuff that's in it. One of the things that you should go to is nerdsandbeyond.com. It's a new partner of ours. It's a nerd news site. I love nerd news. And they are quick and to the point and great at what they do. And so you should bookmark it and also follow them on Twitter @nerdsandbeyond. And you'll be able to find our podcasts on there as well. And on our own site at thenerdparty.com, you can find their news content too. So check it out. Oh, well, just like I did in college, and if I knew you in high school, I would feel the same. I love you.
I know.
Oh, you know what? I think I have an idea for the final song on this one.
What?
What do you think about this one?
Come, my love, I'll tell you a tale.
Don't play
Boy
that.
and girl,
Well, I have to
their
now.
love story, and how he loved her oh so much, and all the charms she did possess. Now this did happen once upon a time, when things were not so complex, and how he worshipped the ground she walked, and when he looked in her eyes he became obsessed. My love is like a storybook story, but it's as real